And welcome to the Walker Bullington Show here on the SHC Athletics YouTube channel. Nolan Cotillo joined by head coach of the Badgers, Walker Bullington. Coach, how are we doing today?
Doing good.
Pretty good after last night. We'll talk more about that win over West Florida, a big regional rivalry win. A lot of implication behind that game, so we'll get to that here on the back end of our recap segment. But first, want to talk about news that just came out as you were walking in. The Badgers now receiving votes in the NCBWA Top 25 National Poll. What's that mean to see all that hard work kind of start coming to fruition here as we start climbing the ladder?
We've talked about on here before about the receiving votes and where you're ranked in the region and, D2 teams of the week. So we've had that week where we're receiving votes in the top 25, right? We moved up to number 5 in the South region rankings. We were on, last week, whatever it was, 5th in the top 10 D2 teams of the week. This week we're number 3 in top D2 teams of the week. D2 baseball is tweeting about it's time to take Spring Hill baseball serious and so on and so forth, right? But right, it's nice to have that validity, but we talked about it yesterday. Like, to us, receiving votes should be a slap in your face. Being number 5 in the region should be a slap in your face. Whether that's real or not, right? There's two different mindsets. Look how good we are. Look how good we're doing. Nick Saban, rat poison, right?
Right.
Or it's, hey, what we did yesterday was before the game, we had multiple guys saying this is a prove it game. Go out and prove why we shouldn't be receiving votes. We should be a top 25 team. Go out and prove why we should continue to move up in the region rankings with your play, right? So we've talked about not looking for validity in terms of rankings and Twitter and this poll and that poll and 6-4 analytics and D2 baseball. It's just go win the games that are in front of you and let it fall where they may. Now, those rankings are important when it comes to playoff seeding, all that stuff, but we got a lot of regular season baseball left to play. We got to go win a conference tournament. The SIAC historically has been a one-bid league. You got to take care of business and continue to take care of business, and we'll go look at the rankings and do a recap at the end of the year. Right now, let's just keep winning baseball games.
Yep. And you've been doing so, as of recent, and you've had some guys that have had some really great performances within those games, one of those being Bryce Anderson, who earns his first SIAC Player of the Week award of the season. I went 9 for 12 at the plate in the series with laying 10 RBIs, 3 home runs, including a grand slam in that second game. Also in that second game, 6 of those 10 RBIs happened then. And then, he slugs 1.58 and got on base over 76% of the time with a pair of stolen bags. What are you seeing from him, and what did you see from him this past weekend?
Maturity, comfortability, right? When he's really, really going well, he's going backside, right? He's a guy that played for me at the JUCO level. He had a couple big-time backside home runs there. He was seeing the ball really, really well. He was playing really, really well. In those stats, they don't cover what he did for us defensively as well. 2 stolen bases, which would have been more, but he wouldn't stop hitting nukes and doubles, right? So on the base paths, he affected the game. Defensively affected the game. Offensively, obviously affected the game. And the 3-homer game is impressive, right? That's once-in-a-lifetime type stuff, especially for, a college baseball player. He's not a historical 15, 20 home run guy. Now he's got into several this year, but he goes backside homer, right? Then he goes pull side absolute nuke, and then he goes backside grand slam. You're locked in when you're hitting balls that way, and then in between that, his outs, every double, every single was barreled all weekend long. He was in his zone at the plate, seeing the ball well, playing with confidence, playing with a little bit of swagger, and he just could not get out for us. So it was good to see out of him, and we had a really good weekend all around, but that performance out of him was pretty special.
Yeah, that's what he said. I talked to him after the game, and he said, man, by the time he hit that grand slam, he's just walking back to the base, and you just see him going, like, oh my God, wow. It kind of hit him then, and he just did that, and he's like, dude, it was unbelievable. Yeah.
Wrap 2 around a right field foul pole, wrap 1 around the left field foul pole is pretty impressive.
It's one you tell your grandkids about, man.
Yeah. So pretty good weekend from Bryce.
Yeah. And overall, just your thoughts on the Lane series as a whole. I mean, you guys laid the law down.
Yeah, offensively. I thought their arms were good. They were competitive. Their game 3 guy had a little bit of velo, kind of funky. Yeah. The game 1 guy from the left side was running it up mid-8s. They brought in a couple relievers that had good stuff. We just decided we were going to go up there and attack heaters white to white, something we've been preaching about, spitting on the slider down. When teams play against us, we have a lot of older guys, which means the book is out on some guys, how they want to pitch us, how they want to pitch around certain guys, what they want to start and finish with. And I thought we really did a good job of staying within our approach, knowing what we were looking for, not coming off of that approach. And, the offense was really, really good all
Hmm.
weekend. Now, we're going to get performances on the mound, but if we do what we did defensively and on the base paths, and pair that with good approaches offensively, I thought it was a really good series win. Lane had won, I think, 4 series in a row, had beaten some good teams. So that was a good 3-game set for us and a good sweep for us in league play that we needed because some other teams around the league, beat each other up a little bit and extended our lead in the conference. So every single game we play is important. So it was a good weekend for us.
Yeah, and you guys kept that good weekend going into the midweek this week. Big one against West Florida. The Argonauts pay their first visit to Sims Galley this season, and jokes on them.
Yeah.
This April Fools. Spring Hill defeats them 7-3, and you had a lot of guys getting in on the scoring. Seth Williams hits that home run that ties us, and then you got guys like Jackson Bell, Jack Taylor, both getting a couple RBIs. Bryce, another RBI as well. So just what did you see kind of that night?
Well, it started on the mound. Number one, it started pregame, right? We talked about it's a prove it game. Rankings don't mean anything. Go win the game.
Yep.
Right? It's a rival for us. We beat them at their place. We knew they were going to come in and play really hard, and it was going to be a tough, hard-fought battle. They're a good program. We're a good program. They put Grant Adams on the mound. They had flipped Mandersheed back to the weekend, flipped Adams into Tuesdays. And the biggest thing that I was really proud of with our group, right, we had a good mindset. It had a playoff atmosphere. The vibes were like playoff vibes, right? Guys, you could feel it. It was a little bit different. Shouldn't be, right? We should approach every game that way. But naturally, when it's a rival and it's two guys going against each other on the mound that can do it. We had taken one from them. It was a playoff atmosphere. Well, the first thing that happens, we come out and Adams gets after us a little bit. We had a scouting report at 86-88. He was 88-90 with Ride. We had more of a slider action on the breaking ball. It was more of a 12-6 breaking ball. He's kind of pitching top to bottom in the zone. 3 years ago, our program would have folded when the scouting report was wrong, right? It's a built-in excuse. Hey, scouting report's wrong. What do we do? It took us one time through the order. We communicate as a group. Guys are like, hey, here's what it is. Here's what we're seeing. Then all of a sudden we chase him in the fourth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was really, really proud of the mindset. I was really, really proud of our dugout, right? So we've talked a lot the last couple of weeks about less of the rah-rah, loud noises and just yelling. It was ball talk constantly. It was with our guys. It was communicating within and about the game. There was no excess stuff going on. It was all high focus, high intent, high energy, 1 through 9, right?
Yep.
It started on the mound. Arlen Butts was phenomenal. It was a good one for him. It's a guy that hadn't had the year he's wanted to have. He knows that. We know that. That's what he can go do. I mean, he ran through them pretty well. The fastball was sinking. The slider was good. The changeup's there. He works quick. He's got a presence on the mound. And, he gets the start on a Tuesday, goes out and shoves. Then we go to Landon Harris. 2 really, really good innings from that kid, right? He goes out and he shoves. A couple double play balls. Garrett Locke comes in. He's electric. Kai St. Germain comes in behind him. So on the mound, phenomenal, right? But then you go around the field, and I'm going to get long-winded here, but we had talked about it, pre-pod. But Ivy Gallo in left field, right, makes 2 outstanding plays.
Oh, yeah.
Outstanding plays, puts together really good at-bats. Now, putting together really good at-bats doesn't always coincide with the numbers, but taking good swings, making a pitcher work, right, making them see pitches. So I thought Ivy had a really good day. Reggie Cooper in center goes 1 for 2, 2 stolen bases, a bunt base hit, draws a walk in a big spot, makes a really good play in the outfield. Jackson Bell in right field. Hits the single to get us going, right? We were getting no hit through 3 because of the scouting report, whatever you want to call it. Hits a single to get us going. Seth Williams, immediate 2-run home run. Jackson Bell goes backside triple to lead off an inning. He goes bunt base hit, right? Then he gets a sacrifice fly. Nick Hunter puts together really good at bats in the leadoff spot. DH guy, that's the only thing he gets to do. Didn't have his best day. Comes back in his last at bat, laces the ball up the middle, moves the guy over. We immediately score that insurance run after they took one from us in the 7th or 8th or whatever it was. Big time at bat.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Swader, backside knock, right? Really good presence at the plate. One of the best double plays I've seen this year. Backhands a baseball, steps on first, throws a dart to second base, catch, tag play, double play. Right, Bryce Anderson, sacrifice fly, makes a leaping catch, spins, almost picks a guy off, double play there. Seth Williams, 2-run nuke, right, making plays defensively. Jack Taylor playing a little banged up, right, gets a single, RBI, goes up, has his best at bat of the year, right, gets a walk, RBI. Parker Serio behind the dish, really, really good at bats, blocking baseballs. Big, huge part of that battery for us, allowing those pitchers to throw what they want to throw, where they want to throw it, and then pick off in the first inning, runners first and second, right? And then the first guy that goes, he throws him out by 10 feet, right? I wanted to go around the field because to me, that was our best complete performance. I wouldn't
Yep.
say we played that well or outstanding. It wasn't 15 hits. It was task oriented, do my job, right? Had a couple uncharacteristic errors. We missed a couple 0-2 sliders. We had a pass ball, a couple little things, and they scored their 3 runs.
Yep.
Outside of that, we turned 3 double plays. We had big moments in big spots. We had big pitches in big spots. Everybody on the field did their job to the best of their ability. It was high focus, high intent, and high energy, and we talked about it after the game. We play that way, right? And we go out and play with confidence, play with swagger, but more importantly, play with a focus and just continue to execute jobs. I was really, really pleased with that performance. It felt like we were in control of that thing start to finish, even when we were down 2-0. So, really proud of our response and really proud of everybody individually and what they did yesterday.
Yeah, really great weekend, and going into the week for the Badgers here. Coming up, we're going to talk about the Lemoyne Owen series. We'll also take a quick look at the Mobile game. That'll be the midweek that will happen before we see you again here next week. So stay tuned. You're watching the Walker Bullington Show right here on the SHC Athletics YouTube channel.
This is the way down a path that leads to a place upon the hill, led by thought leaders, activists, and Jesuit princes. Among the hill is where tradition and a strong desire to do and achieve reside. Ingrained in rich tradition, filled with purpose, fueled by passion. Springhill College is for those who seek more.
And welcome back here to the Walker Bullington Show here on the SHC Athletics YouTube channel. Nolan Catilla, joined by head coach of the
Baggers.
The Baggers. We are the Baggers sometimes.
Yeah.
We steal a lot.
Yeah, there you go.
Fast. Words are hard sometimes, as Charlie Harrison would say. Head coach of the Badgers, Walker Bullington. And we're back here talking about the upcoming games this weekend. You guys hit the road to go take on Lemoyne Owen in a conference series. And then you come back for another rivalry game. I mean, this one's some might say a bigger one. You come back and then you got the University of Mobile Rams here on Tuesday at 5 p.m. But let's look at that Lemoyne Owen series first. Just your thoughts on the series as a whole.
Coach Young's done a really, really good job there. They're close to 500. I don't know the exact record after last week because obviously we're focusing on West Florida and Lane and getting ready, but they're close to a 500 team. They've won a couple SAC series. They've split some series. They've had some big wins. Took one from Albany State, walk-off grand slam. They've gotten better. He's done a very good job. My first year here, that was a program that went 0-38. I think last year it was like 3-37, right? And I know he's won 14, 15 games already. They're doing well in league play. It is not the Lemoyne Owen of old where you can just kind of roll them out and go play. They'll be fired up. They're going to be coached well. He's done a really, really good job, right?
Oh, yeah.
They have a good home field at USA Stadium. If that is indeed where we end up playing, there's probably going to be some movement. I don't know what's going on there. We'll figure it out.
Mother Nature, man. She doesn't hold back.
Wherever we play, whatever we do, like we talked about it last night post game against West Florida, there are no letdowns, right? This is a huge set of 3 in league play. We got to go take these 3 and continue to apply pressure on teams 2, 3, 4, and 5, right, in the league. So they're going to be coached well. They're going to play really hard. They have some confidence. They've won some baseball games. And, we got to go play whatever day it may be and go lace them up and try to win a baseball game. All right. And if it turns into Sunday, Monday, something like that, we're going to drive back from Memphis. We're going to lace them up Tuesday night and play against Mobile. Right. And that, like you just said, it's a rivalry game for us. They got the better of us last year. It was probably the worst game we've played all season long. It's one that our guys want. It's one where it's a midweek that means a little bit more, just to be honest, just because of the rivalry. So it's one of those things where there's no look aheads. We talked about that with Lane. You can't look ahead to West Florida. With Lemoyne Owen, you can't look ahead to Mobile. But, we'll get to that one after the 3-game SIAC set. We'll figure it out. We don't care if it's 5-6 days in a row where we're playing games. We got to continue to go out and do what we did yesterday. Do your job to the best of your ability. No rah-rah, right? No emotional stuff. Stay even keel and go execute. And that's what we did yesterday. That's what we hope to do this weekend. It's what we hope to do on Tuesday. We're in the kind of the dog days of the season right now, grinded it out. But I think this team has turned a corner in terms of what it means, on game day. There's one way, and we just got to continue to do it that way and hopefully go get 3 or 4 more wins before I talk to you next time.
Yeah, and just one more thing I want to ask. You're talking about we're in the dog days of the season. What is it? What's the mindset? Going into it's in the majors, it's you get to September, what's after September, right? So, what's what's the mindset looking ahead kind of with, postseason on the horizon?
One day at a time, right?
There you go.
Because if you don't do it that way and you are looking ahead to postseason, all of a sudden you look up and you drop 2 league games you shouldn't have played, or
Yep.
you shouldn't have dropped.
Yep.
You look up at postseason and you drop 2 midweeks, which could have helped you in those rankings that we talked about, right? So there's a lot of teams that handle it one way, handle it another way. I hope we continue to be frustrated with where we're ranked. I hope we continue to want to prove it, right? So if you can stay on that side of things, I think it heightens intensity, it heightens focus. If you start feeling that validity and saying, oh, well, we can just kind of coast through this one, we've proven we'll drop a game, right?
Mhm.
Now, I think we talked about it a few weeks ago. I think the Miles thing is probably the best thing that could have happened to us, right? We've kind of carried that over. I can very quickly say to these guys, remember Miles, right? Remember it. So it's really just one game at a time, and the more we win, the more pressure we add to people around us. All we can focus on is what we can control, and we can control our effort, focus, and intensity in trying to win every game that's in front of us.
Yep.
We'll figure out the postseason when we get there.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks for coming to talk to us. And we appreciate you at home for watching us. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Walker Bullington Show here on the SHC Athletics YouTube channel. We'll see you in a week.